What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky Haro here with Kinixu Ultras, and this is your race brief for Saguaro Showdown. Cannot be more excited to link up with you all next week and see how this plays out. Um, let's just go ahead and get into the schedule of events for next week. So Friday, the 24th of January, you can set up your area from 5 p.m. onward. The course is going to be open to preview at 5 p.m. There's dry camping only, and that's in the race corral area. And I'll show you kind of where some of the other areas are at. But if you're looking to bring an RV, I would highly recommend getting on the camp website and seeing if you can pull the RV into those designated camp spots. We are not allowed to have RVs in the parking lot. I do think that we are sharing the parking lot space with another event that's probably pulling horse trailers. So just kind of keep that in mind. There are park fees that you're going to have to pay. I'll get into that here in a minute. But that can happen on Friday, the 24th of January. On Saturday, we start off with packet pickup for about a half hour. 7:30, we'll go into a racer crew brief, and then at 8 o'clock, we start our yards for both the rucker, the runner, and if you're in the backyard 24, you start yours all at 8 o'clock. We start from the same race corral and we go until the last person stands. So pretty stoked, pretty excited about that. Alrighty. So we are going to be located at the Ussery Mountain Regional Park. It's in the eastern side of Phoenix. One of the most beautiful parks that we have in this Phoenix area. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. You guys will like the trail, you like the terrain and everything else. Once you're in Usery, I will send you coordinates in this email to put you down in the southern end of this parking lot. And this is the No-So Trailhead parking lot. It's a really big parking lot. Camp hosts are in the northern side here. The far southern side is where we are going to be doing our race. The yellow box is the runner corral, and that's where you'll be setting up your area. You have roughly a 10 by 10 area that you can set up. Um, the brown box is a roped off area that will allow you to go in and out of some of the trails that we will be utilizing. So we will rope that area off so there won't be any parking right up in the vegetation. So we have just a little bit of room to go in and out. There is a water spigot on the far western side, about midway through the parking lot. It's indicated by that red triangle. But most of everything that we're going to be using is going to be the south end. Um, just to the west of those yellow boxes or the runner corral, there is a couple fire pits. We'll have fires going for most of the night. But whatever you and your crew bring is whatever you are utilizing for the duration that you're going to be out there. All right, park fees. There is a day fee that you'll have to pay when you enter into the park. You can pay multiple days. So if you're thinking about, running and your goal is 48 hours plus, I would probably just go ahead and get 3 days worth of parking into your vehicle. If you have a crew, they can go in and out, and we can go from there. I will be sending you out a gate code here in a couple days. You can give that to your crew. They are going to be required to remember or use that gate code when they come in and out at night after hours. So the gates will be closed after hours, but your crew can get in and out utilizing the gate code. Alrighty, for the day loop, day loop sits at 4.1667. It's been measured out. It's good. I'll say that the route itself is mostly groomed. We say mostly groomed in Arizona, but it's also people will call this Arizona Rocky. They will, if you're out of Arizona, I will say that some of these sections are a little rockier than what you're probably used to, roughly 2-ish miles downhill, and then you've got about 2-ish miles uphill. We sit at about 230 feet for ascent and descent for the runner's loop. So that's for the backyard 24 as well as the last person standing event. Rucker Loop, you sit at 2.25 miles in day. Um, you'll also be around the same for the night. We'll talk about the night out and back here in a minute, but you're going to be on the same track, mostly groomed. You'll be in and out of several different washes, roughly 1-ish mile downhill and then 1.2-ish miles uphill, 115 feet of ascent and descent. Okay, for the night loop, um, everything's going to be coursed or course marked for daytime. It will also be course marked for nighttime, and there will be reflector tape all through this. So for the night loop, runners will have an out and back measured out at 4.1667. It will most likely show up a little short for your watches, but just keep in mind that it is out 4.1667. For the ruckers, you'll be on the same out and back. There will be a sign for you to stop and turn around. For both the rucker and the runner at your turnaround spots, there's going to be a little hole punch that you'll punch, indicating that you hit that lap. We'll hand out some index cards, and you'll just have to show me that you punched out that particular yard. All right. For crew tips, there's plenty of space. Everything's first come, first serve in the runner's corral. So if you're wanting to, if you think that your runner, or if your runner thinks that you're going to be in it for the long haul, I would recommend being placed closer towards the front of the corral, which would be the eastern side. And I'll be out there so I can point you all on where to set up. If you think that you're going to be kind of just hanging out for the day, maybe work your way towards the back. There are also gazebos that are available. So if you wanted to utilize that, if you know that you have a goal of just doing 12 hours or you're doing 10 hours or whatever it might be, a marathon, you could utilize the gazebo as well for any of your setup and tear down. We have that whole entire southern end. So both gazebos, the fire pit, and that big whole area set aside for that. There are several barbecues out there, so if you want to barbecue, feel free to do so. I would suggest having water containers and plenty of it, at least to get you through the first 24 hours. And then your crew has the ability to go back during the day and grab whatever water you need. Target, Bashas', Walgreens, Starbucks, just about anything you can get is within about 15 minutes of the parking lot. There's plenty of coffee shops all around there. I would say most of your coffee shops are going to be around 20 minutes from our parking lot to the coffee shops and back. Alrighty, let's go through some ROEs here and rules of engagement for both the rucker and the runner. Obviously, we're talking about courses here. They're looped, they're laid out. During the nighttime, it's an out and back. The starting corral is measured to fit the field. We'll try to keep it the same size all the way through. The most important thing is that you in the corral at the start of the top of the hour. We start every hour on the hour. I'm going to give you a warning of 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, and then I'm going to yell go. If you're not in the corral, then you're done. We call yard loops, we call them yards. So basically every hour you're going to go out, except for the restrooms, you cannot leave the course until finished. If you're a non-competitor, no non-competitors on the course, no personal aid during the yard. So as soon as you leave that corral, whatever you have in your hand, you've got to keep with you. Don't toss stuff to your crews or anything like that. You're basically leaving the corral and you're out. This course itself is really easy to do that because as soon as you leave, you're out on the yard. So there's really no big thing for being able to go out and get stuff. If you're over time, I will send your crew most likely in the reverse direction to go get you, or at least help you get back. So just kind of think about that. In terms of winner results, you're putting a DNF on the line. Winner is the last person to complete the loop. If two racers start, but only one goes out, the racer that went out must complete the final loop. And just so everybody is aware, there can be no winners in this format, meaning if you're in the last person standing for the ruck or the runner and you try to bluff somebody out and they go out and you stay, if that person doesn't complete the loop in time, there's no runner, there's no winner. So that can happen that way. There's been ties where there's been no winner, people going out, and then they both decide to finish or they both decide to time out. Um, they're all ways that you can have a no winner format for last person standing event. For the backyard 24, you're going to pretty much follow the same rules, except all of you that are in the backyard 24, you're just trying to get 24 hours in. If you get 24 hours in, you hit 100 miles. And it's all sub 24. So those are really cool goals in that respect. All right, in terms of artificial aids, no cooling vests, no fans, things like that, no trekking poles, no radios or SMS stuff between crews, getting things prepped and that kind of stuff. When you're out on the loop, it's on your own. I would recommend for crews having roughly 1 to 3 people. There are crews and there are people who have done this with just one person. You've got to be on top of your game when you're doing that. Make sure you're getting rest if you're a crew in between the yards, and go from there. There's plenty of parking out there. So if you were going to go back and sleep in your car, truck, van, or whatever, you can find a spot that's kind of away from all of the main area. um, what you make this race corral is the vibe that you make for the entire race. Meaning, in the very beginning, we're gonna have 40 some people there. The vibe's gonna be great, but as people peter out, that starts to get quieter and quieter. We don't play music for the race event itself. We don't play music. We don't provide any motivations. It's whatever you do for your crew or for your crew and runners. That's what you do. The space that you have here will be roughly a 10 by 10 area. Canopies are definitely allowed. Some people have crewed out, are just self-crewed out of their own little tiny tent. Um, if you're thinking about going beyond 24 hours, I would definitely think about getting a tent that you can stand in. Most folks ditch the little tiny tents after, 12, 14 hours. It's just really hard to get in and out. Definitely bring enough light to light up your space however you want. And cooking in full aid is acceptable in the runner and corral and your tent area. In terms of backyard 24 ROEs, like I said, there's really no winner. It's just everybody going out trying to accomplish the goal of getting to 24 hours. You're going to utilize the runner loop. There's going to be no artificial aid or outside assistance like everything else. You must start at the top of the yard. You definitely can be crewed, and think of your space also as a 10 by 10 area. Um, that is it the for rules and everything else that's in place. Like I said before, Ussery Mountain Regional Park is where we're going to be. In the email, I'll send you coordinates and I'll also give you a Google pin for you to get out to that area. And we'll see you on Friday. I'm super excited about all of this and cannot wait to get going. Talk to y'all later.